and social life, a platform where everything related issues are being discussed. That stage of adulthood, faced with challenges of social interaction, sexual orientation, family life, and social development during the teen years. We also learn signs of problems and talk about important topics facing the youth.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Youth and Social Life. And my name is Precious Chukudi. And we have a very interesting guest in the studio where we'll be discussing COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on the youth. And she's in the person of Oyindamola Abati, and she's a lecturer of University of Lagos. Oyindamola, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so we're talking about COVID-19 and its effect on the youth, and we understand that during the lockdown, there were a lot of rumors of, the young people trapped in their house, there were a lot of vices, and there were a lot of, reports of different situations happening around. Now, I would like to ask you, what do you expect that the youth should be doing during this period where we still have the partial lockdown in place?
Thank you very much. COVID-19 has been devastating for everyone, so it's not just the youth, it's across the world. So in the terms of what you should be doing during this period, I feel like this is not the time to turn to vices. This is an opportunity to make use of your time. There are many things you could be doing right now that would be fetching you profits, that will be fetching you skills that you can use in the future. Like we know, the world is no longer physical, with the whole social distancing going on. So slowly things are becoming more virtual, and online ventures are taking up more. So during this period, I would advise young people to take to the internet. There are many things you could do. You could go online, you could learn courses, you could learn skills that would help you. For instance, ASU is currently on strike, and I, on the other hand, I'm using my other skills that are not related, or that may be related to academia on the side to, make more income for myself, like writing, a simple skill of writing. You might be a good writer and just think it's something small, but there are many people out there looking for writers. There are many people out there looking for social media managers. There are many people out there looking for people that can code, that can program, there are many things you could do anyways to pass the time. A lot of people are doing TikTok. that's the whole young people craze these days, and they are becoming famous as a result of it. So comedy, online comedy, that there's literally tons of things that young people could be doing to keep them away from vices during this period.
Okay, so let's speak more on the educational aspect. Now, schools have been shut for a long time coming, and there are reports that whenever the schools would be open, some students will basically not know some of their school works again. It will be hard for them to go back again, and considering the fact that some students basically need a four wall of a classroom to actually be able to read and also understand and also be in the in that sphere of learning. What exactly do you think as an educationist, what would you advise some of the youth to do during this time?
Well, like I said, youth should take the time to learn on their own. For instance, the younger ones that can't go to school right now, they are learning online. Some schools have developed WhatsApp classes, Zoom classes, just for the parents to keep the kids occupied. So as for the youths, a lot of you still have your class notes. You have your school notes. You could revise. You could use that to keep your brain fresh. You could also go online, go to Coursera, the course you are studying. I'm sure there are variations of it online, and if you can go and check those, you'll be able to keep yourself fresh. A lot of these students, what they're even studying, they don't enjoy it. So I would say this is the opportunity to pursue a course that you're really passionate about. For instance, we have some people that are doing computer science, but they are really interested in theater arts. So I would even advise you that since you didn't have the opportunity before to do what you want, now that you're at home, you can learn and practice what you really want to do. When school comes back, your lecturers will sort out you catching up with what they've taught you. But for now, you can develop other skills. And if it's what you're studying in school is what you really want to go after, fine. There are many resources online that can help you stay up to date regarding your educational content.
All right, so let's move on to like other questions that are really in our hearts. For example, there are also reports that young people, or let me say a lot of ladies, are going to get pregnant after maybe like really, because some of them were caught in between, in their partners' houses, like people who have like boyfriends and all of that,
Yeah.
in their partners' houses, and there was total lockdown. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And some of them had to start to do things that a wife would do, like taking care of it. Because I saw a lot of tweets on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, this is really bad. And there was this particular girl that came out and said that she's been with her boyfriend for over a month now, and he has turned her to a house girl. Like literally cleaning, cooking, and doing everything that she would never have thought that she would do, but just because of the lockdown period. I wanted to throw more light into the fact that youth should really not be focusing on like having sex and all that stuff.
What do you want them to focus on?
No, like really, the world is really changing. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. We can't be having more kids in this time that
to be honest, it's a biological response for people to be stuck in the same place, and the only thing they will be thinking about is sex. It's normal, and if they are grown enough to do it, I don't see a problem with it. A lot of adults that are married, a lot of people are going to get pregnant. It's unavoidable because we are not going anywhere. We are just in the house. At some point, all you will be doing is look at each other, and before you know it, So I don't blame people that are doing that. When you spoke about the girl that was being treated like a house girl, it made me remember a friend of mine who was currently in the same situation. He's a guy, by the way, so stuck with another male friend of his, and the other friend is lazy, so he's the one doing all the cooking, doing all the housework. So it's like that. It's not even just between men and women. It can just happen to be that you're stuck with someone that is not being helpful or helping you be productive. So if you want to make changes to that, the best way is to have a conversation with the person, saying, okay, because there was some news I saw about a guy in Italy that that called the police that he's tired of being at home, that his girlfriend has turned him into a sex slave. So you're supposed to have a conversation with the person and say, okay, this is what you're doing, and I think it's impeding on my progress and productivity. Maybe you guys will create a schedule or you use protection or anything. Just make sure that you are being safe, you are practicing safe sex, and you are communicating with the person you are in isolation with to ensure that you're both on the same page.
All right, so let's talk about violence now. During the total lockdown, there were like reports on ills in society of the 1 million boys. It was literally everywhere. There was a lot of retweets, hashtag 1 million boys, they are in our area, and speaking about how they're dropping letters from place to place. Now, what do you think about that first?
Well, in a time where a lot of people's jobs have been taken from them, staying at home means you can't do anything except for people who have laptops, who work from home. But the rest of the Lagosians, a lot of them are not like that. Many of them are pepper sellers, they are market people, they are meat sellers, they are people that do odd jobs, and if they are not able to go outside anymore, it's understandable that the crime rate is going to increase because they will need to look for supplementary sources of income, which might lead to stealing, robbery, fraud, and all those things. So it's expected that sometimes the crime rates can climb. So, like when it happened in Ilupejo, was it I remember the motion boys, they came to the rescue. So it's up to people in these porous environments to be extremely safe. For instance, in my area now, we have like 4 gates. So before we used to keep all 3 open because they access other streets. But now all those gates are closed except one. So that means we are trying to protect ourselves to keep outsiders from coming in without notice and ensure that okay, this is the only point of entry and it's being guarded. So for now, it's up to us to just try to keep ourselves safe during this period.
All right. So, in the light of speaking about keeping yourself safe, and also the increase in violence as a result of the total lockdown that happened before, what are the things that you think that a young person, a young man or woman, should be able to do to make money off, in times like this? Because we know that there are people who are making money even in the lockdown. I mean, we saw different apps come up as a result of the lockdown. The TikTok came out, Zoom came out, and that's huge source of money for some young persons. People are tilting towards virtual classes now, because they cannot be in the same space with other people. So what exactly are the things? I want you to give different ideas on what a young person can do while staying at home. What I can do to make money.
Yeah, there are lots of ideas on how to make money, and it's not just for people going online. It's for people in general, even those that are staying at home. For instance, a lot of industries have been hit really hard by this COVID-19, but some are especially still thriving. For instance, the telecommunication industry is thriving because everyone is still buying data, everyone is still subscribing despite the whole no money, no salary. And then we have the food industry. They've been open. So that's where I think a lot of people should focus on. The hospitality industry has been hit hard, especially like hotels and restaurants, but some of them have been able to bounce back by offering like delivery options. So people come and they order and they take it out instead of sitting to eat. So I think young people, especially even those that used to be like market sellers in the first place, they can decide to use this opportunity, package your vegetables, package your provisions, and start delivering to people's houses and ensure that it's clean and safe. You can start making meals. For instance, lots of would I call them chefs or cooks that make soups. They start selling per liter online. So those are viable business options during this period. Delivering food, delivering groceries, and there's also like I said, writing skills. A lot of companies are now focusing on their online content. They're putting out more content. So people are looking for people that can manage social media accounts, that can write stories, that can write blog posts. So if you have any of these skills, this is the best time to pitch to those companies that, okay, this is what I can do and I can help you do this. So
Okay, so let's just move into the area of mental wellness. Now, during the period of the total lockdown, we observed that there was increase in suicide rates. Like a lot of people, I don't know if it's as a result of staying in a place where you can't move out, and if you live alone too, that might have added to that. Because I remember in the total lockdown, I lost 2 friends. They committed suicide, and one was as a result of she felt she couldn't take it anymore. She was a single mom and she had 3 kids. She just had her last child in December, and she told her neighbor that she wants to go buy something, whereas she was going to actually kill herself. And the other one was about last 2 weeks, before the relief of the lockdown. He killed himself. He lives alone and he works. So like I don't know what exactly can we say that could have stemmed up all this. All these happenings, as in the young people committing suicide, feeling like there's not so much they can do again.
I keep saying it that mental health is a problem that's not really been addressed in this country. A lot of people are walking about with like various mental disorders and mental illnesses, and they are not being treated because we don't value that in this country. If someone says they want to see a psychiatrist or psychologist, they go, I'll see how this person is mad. So I feel like we need to pay more attention to mental health in this country, especially among the youth. A lot of people are depressed, they look up to their peers and they try to measure up, but when they fall short, they start thinking and they fall into depression. And depression can be a clinical disease. There are different forms of it. It can be really serious and even lead to suicide, like you said. So during this period, I attended a forum recently on self-care. I was one of the speakers there, and one thing I said is that self-care is not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing, it's a financial thing. You have to keep your all-round self-care. You have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Financially, you have to make sure you have a plan on how you are going to go through this COVID, and how you are going to make income and how you are going to keep eating and feeding yourself. So these things you have to plan towards it, and don't just sit down and hope things are going to fall in place. Physically, you have to take care of yourself, because if you don't like what you look like, it might also cause depression. Mentally, some people are being overworked currently, because everyone's at home, the office hours have disappeared. They call you up in the middle of the night, they call you up early in the morning. So you have to set boundaries, like, okay, this particular time is when I'm going to take calls. I'm not going to receive any office calls till 10 a.m. And if they tell you, why didn't you? Oh, I wasn't available during that period. So you need to set boundaries and make sure that these things are not impeding on your personal life. The other one is mentally, yes. So apart from work, you can also decide that, okay, I'm going to take a break. A simple leaving the house to walk around the compound or the streets can help clear your head and make you think better. So there are many ways people should seek to help themselves, even if you're not going to see a psychologist, like many people don't do this one, but they should seek other organic ways they can keep themselves safe, especially mentally.
All right, so you'll be hearing it from Oyindamola Abati. We're just going to go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll keep discussing with her. Be right back.
And social life, a platform where everything related issues are being discussed. That stage of adulthood, faced with challenges of social interaction, sexual orientation, family life, and social development during the teen years. We also learn signs of problems and talk about important topics facing the youths.
All right, welcome back. And if you've just joined us, she said a whole lot of things. You need to really go back and then see all the things she said. I'm still with Oyindamola Abati, lecturer of University of Lagos. It's good to still have you here. And we've been talking about how the youth should actually be coping in this COVID-19 pandemic. We've talked about violence, we've talked about mental health, we've talked about how you can make money, we've talked about the educational aspect of this whole thing. Now, I want to ask you a question, Oyindamola. Now, a lot of people, still speaking about mental health, a lot of people are still struggling on the fact that they feel like they're not getting enough support from their parents and from their guardian, especially in these times. You made mention of, and also what we can see, the fact that a lot of people are losing their jobs. Now, companies are basically saying that some of our jobs can be done at home. Exactly. Virtually, we don't really need so many people at work, and it's having a strong effect on the business as well as the individuals, because things that you naturally do and you see that, you can do it at work, and there's always an employment opportunity for every duty. Now people can see that you can be at home and then be the customer service at home, be the just do some other things at home. Now, how do you think that parents or guardians can actually support their young ones in these times?
Yeah, this is up to, for those that are still living with their parents, it's really, really difficult this time, because I saw a tweet recently about some girl that was saying her mother wasn't allowing her to, she had a class, and then her mom came and was like, she hasn't done the dishes. And I know African parents can be like that. They don't care if you're having a class or if you're doing something on your own. They just want to assert their authority all the time. So it's up to parents during this period to be understanding and realize that their actions do affect their children. So if someone's working from home, that's not the time for you to say, okay, come and do this or do that for me, without considering that they might be busy. So a lot of people that are working from home are being plagued with do this, do that, go and do this one, cook. Especially women. Women are really facing it. The ones that young women, mothers, they are going through it. I saw an article on how female researchers are submitting less research papers than their male counterparts, which reverse was the case earlier. And by the time we dug into the article, the reason we found out was that women are carrying more of the housework. They don't have time to write as much as they did before. And the men, their husbands still have the audacity to say, okay, you guys are disturbing me, I'm trying to work. Meanwhile, the mother is the one doing all the house chores and still trying to get a hold of her career at the same time. So I would say all around, people should try and be supportive to their partners, to their children, to their parents during this period, because everyone is having it difficult.
All right, so you heard it from Damola Abati. Everyone is having it difficult. You need to learn how to support everyone around you. Support your friends, support your family. It's not really easy for us now. It's not easy for a lot of people. So any way you can support someone, you should do that. And she has also dropped hints on how you can make money in this time. People are running virtual classes. You should jump on that too. And remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. You can, drop your comments too. What do you think that the young ones should be doing around this time? These are the comments that we would like to read and also take note of. You can also check out our website on www.vanguardngr.com. Till I come your way next time, remember to stay safe, stay clean, and stay hydrated. Thank you, Oyindamola, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and till we see ourselves in another program. Thanks for watching.
Youth and Social Life, a platform where everything related issues are being discussed. That stage of adulthood, faced with challenges of social interaction, sexual orientation, family life, and social development during the teen years. We also learn signs of problems and talk about important topics facing the youth.